as always, reviews and comments are welcome here on the show. Look for us on our social media handles at Joy News on TV on both Facebook and on Twitter. Send us that tweet with the hashtag The Pulse. We'll be glad to share your thoughts with the rest of the world. And remember, it's just some 95 days to go for the presidential and parliamentary elections here in the country. We'll bring you all you need to know about the elections right here on your election headquarters. But we begin today with some more agitations on the labor front, because it's beginning to look like an industrial action which will stay with us for a long time. Today, the Public Utility Workers Union of the ECG are beginning a nationwide strike to protest what they describe as the gross disrespect shown it by the Millennium Development Authority MEDA. They also talk of the lack of transparency and trust with regards to moves to privatize the Electricity Company of Ghana. According to the leadership of POO, all staff across ECG operational areas are to report for work today, though no official duties will be carried out. Now, this means that for customers who will need prepaid credit or make payments for their postpaid meters, they will have to try some other time or make do with the private vendors. My colleague Joseph Akable has been to some of the offices here in Accra to gauge the atmosphere and now reports.
The red fabric that welcomes you to the Accra East Office of the Electricity Company of Ghana. Workers here are of the view that they didn't reach any consensus in that meeting with the Millennium Development Authority, and as a result of that, they are still on strike. It's not just at this office, but it's across the country. Let's go in and let's have a look at the situation here. So right at the entrance, you can see the red fabric here. Some of the workers are on the compound. We understand they are having a meeting inside the office here. So we can come in now and have a look at the place now. Once you enter the Accra East Office of the company, right above there you can see another red fabric that has the inscription "Stop ECG Concession." Stop ECG Concession. The main point that the workers of the Utilities Union have been making time again, talking about the fact that they are not happy about this concession agreement that the Millennium Development Authority is fronting for government. We understand a high-powered meeting is taking place at the Assembly Hall right inside at this particular end, at this entrance. We are told a meeting of the workers is taking place over there. So we'll be waiting for them to exit. They will then talk to some of them to find out exactly what they discussed, which services they are suspending today, and which services will be available for customers. Because for many customers, they are worried. They want to visit the centers. They want to have access. They want to report faults if need be, and they want it to be attended to. But it appears that is not going to be the case. They are here on the compound. They are not working. They've laid down their tools. You can see them, some wearing red tops, others in red fabric as well. They are all standing here. Upstairs, the offices are all locked. They are not providing services. They are saying that they still have disagreements with government, and until those disagreements are addressed, the offices will remain closed as it is, and the workers are still on the compound. The workers, we understand today, are continuing with their strike action. I'm joined here by two of their leaders, and they'll be telling us exactly what today's action is about, which services they are suspending, and which ones will be available for customers. So let me first start with the chairman first. So sir, which services is available for customers today, and which ones are you suspending?
Yeah, the services available to customers is emergency. For instance, the hospitals, military installations, when they have faults, we attend to them. That is all. Apart from that, we are not working. We are not serving anybody.
So it means that when someone comes and he wants to pay his electricity bill, or he perhaps has a fault that he wants it to be attended to, that cannot be attended to?
For that one, we are looking at it, whether we should consider it, but as of now, we have not taken a decision on it.
So this is the Customer Service Office of the Electricity Company of Ghana, the Accra East Office. On a normal day, you come around and you expect that you should have some workers sitting behind those desks attending to customers who come in, but the desks are deserted. The office is empty. This section of the office is entirely empty. We can also look at other parts of the office. Right ahead of us is where people are supposed to pay their electricity bills. We can quickly see the security man just locking up the place. The main exit has been locked as well. That is the point where you exit and you also come into that part has just been locked. So this is the situation here at the Accra East Office of the Electricity Company of Ghana. We'll be going on to check out the situation at other offices across the country as well. Here at the Roman Ridge District Office of the Electricity Company of Ghana, the situation is no different. Once you get to the main entrance, the gate right behind me, you have the red fabric expressing the displeasure about the entire arrangement about the privatization of the electricity company of Ghana. So you can see the main entrance has been locked. We are being denied access to the main structure. Not just is it about we being denied access to the main structure, but also we have some customers here who have come in. They want to come. For some of them, I don't know exactly which services they've come in here for, but they are being denied. As some other customers can also be seen at the other side. They are right here. We can quickly see them. They are at the other side of the street because they are not being allowed in. The services here have been suspended as part of the strike action, so they are standing here. They are waiting patiently. They are of the view that possibly the offices will be open to enable them go in and be able to purchase their credit, but as it stands, they are not being allowed, so they are waiting patiently right in front of the office here, the Roman Ridge District Office. They are hoping that maybe they will have a change of heart and allow them in. So as it stands, they are still here. They are not being allowed to purchase the credits that they want to purchase, as well as other services that they on a normal day they were expected to be provided. So they are also still stranded here. So this is a situation here at the Roman Ridge District Office of the Electricity Company of Ghana. The workers are still on strike. They are still calling on government to heed to their concerns. They say they disagree with certain agreements that government has reached with the Millennium Development Authority, and they said until those concerns are addressed, they remain on strike. Joseph Akable, Joy News, Accra.
So that's Joseph Akable giving us some wrap of how things were looking like today when the workers of ECG began their 2-day sit-down strike. They're asking for moves by government to have ECG privatized stopped or the renegotiation be done to suit the workers and also in what they say should be the best interest of the country. Well, we will bring you some responses on the meeting we're learning is underway at the Power Ministry between the leadership of POO and the Power Ministry. We'll bring you those details in just a moment. But as you can imagine, the decision of these workers not to offer any services today has had its own impact on the customers who need their services today. Well, Joseph has been speaking to some of them. We can hear how it's affected them.
We need to buy credits on our meter because our light is off, and then to my surprise I was here and then the whole place is closed down, and I don't know what they want us to do now. We need lights in a shop, we need lights, and then I don't know really, I don't know what to say. We are just hoping for the best.
To buy a meter prepaid, but when I came the place is closed down, so I have to go back home. No, I'm not happy. It's so sad that you buy a car from a distance and come here and there's nothing is available, so you have to go back.
Yeah, I come to buy credit, but my light is off. I can't see the red carpet here, but I don't know what's going on here. That's why I'm here, so I'm still waiting.
Just want to buy credits, but when I come, they say they don't do work, they're on strike. So right now I don't know what to do now.
For your resident?
For my resident. Just this don't know, the light go off.
So these are just a few of those who are affected today by the action of the ECG workers who decided not to offer their services today. In fact, that meeting I was telling you about at the Power Ministry we're learning has ended. Let's find out the outcome. Patrick Binyemi is part of the Senior Staff Association of the ECG. He's part of the leadership. Let's speak to him and get an update now. Mr. Binyemi, good afternoon to you.
Good afternoon, sir.
And thanks for joining us this afternoon. What was the outcome of your meeting with the leadership of the Power Ministry?
Thank you very much. But let me take the opportunity to make this correction. ECG staff are not on strike. No, we are not on strike. Today, we met at the ministry, and then what came up was that issues we have raised were not looked at prior to the release of the RFP. So we have agreed that we're going to meet on next week, Wednesday, where we're going to bring on board all the stakeholders, and then we can start dialoguing.
So, if I'm to understand what you just said, the meeting today at the Power Ministry was inconclusive.
Exactly.
And it does not change your arrangements for the action you've started today?
At all. We are continuing on Monday.
Okay, but if you're still in talks with them, you meet them on Wednesday, why continue with this action?
Well, you agree with me that one of the maxims of equity instates that delay defeats equity, and he who comes to equity must come with clean hands. We have met them on several occasions, nothing came out of it. Well, we have given them the benefit of the doubt today. They are saying Wednesday, we'll go ahead on Monday. If nothing comes out of it on Wednesday, we'll reconvene at next meeting and take a decision on the further action.
Now, you tell us, that what happened today is not a strike. So what is it then?
We have reported if it is a strike, we have to follow procedures. If you want to embark on a strike. Now, all the staff in all the ECG operational areas we reported for work. We are only saying that we are not doing or carrying out any official duty. However, we've even made provision because we have our customers at heart. We've made provision for a standby for some critical areas that our people can attend to should fault occur. So I don't see this as a strike action, please.
So what do you call it then?
Anyway.
Mr. Benjamin, if you don't call it a strike, then what is it? Because some people are not getting the services.
Protesting. We are registering our displeasure about the way we have been handled because the action of the leader is deemed as a gross disrespect, lack of transparency, and lack of trust. These are not people that we can deal with as an institution, and that is why we are saying that. Please. You see, what we are doing, we are protecting the interest of Ghanaians.
But you see, the challenge with your action, sorry, Mr. Benjamin, you say that you're doing this in the best interest of the Ghanaian people. But today, you withdrew services, people could not buy prepaid credit, they could not pay their faults, others could not pay their bills, those who had faults at their homes could not get your service. So if you're not calling this a strike, I'm wondering what else you're calling it, sir.
Let me ask you, my brother, taking a day or two to register our displeasure on issues that are going wrong, which at the end of the day will affect Ghanaians and they will pay dearly for it. And we keeping quiet and things are done the way it is. And we bear the consequences. Which one would you prefer, my brother?
Well, the choice is not mine to make, but the thing is this. Your action has resulted in a lot of people across the country not getting access to your services, which are integral for their well-being, for their businesses.
My brother, if we are talking about they're not getting access, if somebody wants to buy credit, the person can go to our private vendors. If somebody wants our services, tomorrow, Sunday, they can go to our services because we only took 2 days. Today and Monday. So anybody who wants to use ECG operational areas to transact any business tomorrow, people will be available to serve them.
Right. So tell me something, Mr. Benjamin. For this action you took today, which you say will be replicated on Monday, what's management saying about your actions?
Well, we met management. We have informed management. And then we are going ahead with it.
When you informed them, what was their response?
Well, as management, they have to tell us their side of it, but where we have gotten to, we must go ahead with whatever we have planned, because if we don't take time, what will happen will not be good for us as Ghanaians. We must protect the state assets. You understand me? We are obedient citizens of Ghana. We are law-abiding citizens of Ghana. And therefore, if there is a pressing issue of this sort, one of the issues raised in the compact document is for NIDA to have a stakeholder consultation. That has not been done. February, we met them at TUC Hall and we asked for certain information. As of now, those informations were not provided. We raised issues. Look, the government gave a moratorium that for 5 years, nobody will be touched. And the question we are asking is, after 5 years, what then happens? Nobody is telling us anything.
You see, Mr. Benjamin, what I don't get here is this. We've had a discussion here in the studio. You were here, I think last week or last 2 weeks, where you explained all of this for us to understand. You mentioned that you would take actions based on the reaction you'd get. Today, your action has seen some people suffer. Who will account for their losses today?
Oh, my brother. Well, let's take the opportunity to apologize to our customers. But we have made provision. Tomorrow they can go, Sunday they can go, but Monday we are not. But
so for what they lost today with their businesses, all they get is a sorry for you.
Hello?
So for what they lost today for their business, all they get from the senior staff of ECG is, we're sorry, that's it.
No, what is happening, you have to get this issue right, my brother. we have alternatives. We have private vendors. If they want to buy electricity, power, or credit, they can.
But those who have faults with their lines that needed fixing today,
what we are trying to say that if we don't take this action, my brother, the consequence will be unbearable for Ghanaians.
Okay. One thing I need clarity also on is this, Mr. Binyami. This action you've taken today, where is the legal basis for your action? Because some would say if you withdraw your service, it is illegal.
It depends on how you are looking at it.
So you tell me the legal basis on which you took this action today, sir.
We only took the opportunity to register our displeasure that we want things to be done right. We, notwithstanding being staff of ECG, we are also stakeholders. We are citizens of Ghana. And if anything is going wrong, we need to talk about it. We need to put things in place because posterity will want the judges. And we don't want that. That is why we want to ensure that things are done right for the betterment of Ghanaians.
Is management in support of this demonstration or your expression of displeasure?
My brother, we have informed management of our decision.
I get that. But I'm saying, are they in support of your action?
Well, I wouldn't be able to tell you whether they are in support or not, but we are met, we have informed them, and we are going ahead with our action accordingly.
Now, you said today's meeting was inconclusive. Monday you will continue. So for Monday, for all these things you do, how do you account for people and how they are losing out? I'm still not getting that answer, sir.
It is in the interest of Ghanaians. I would, however, take the opportunity to apologize to Ghanaians if in a way this action affected them so much. However, we want to put things right in their own interest. So we beg of them, they should bear with us. From next week, we still go back and we do what is expected of us so that they can be happy and we can also be happy. After all, they are always the king.
Some will say, Mr. Binyami, that your actions for today and for Monday is just the senior staff looking at their parochial interest and holding the whole nation to ransom. How do you respond to that?
It is never true, and I would bet to differ. Because whatever we are doing, we have raised key issues. You know, it's taking me back to our positions that we have presented to them. We are not doing this because of our own interest. No, remember, first of all, we are Ghanaians, and we must protect the state assets. Things that are done that are not right must be corrected, and that is what we are doing. For instance, if somebody is coming to take your company for 25 years, which is a fail, and you are telling us that we shouldn't talk about it, we shouldn't discuss it, what goes into it, who takes over, what happens to the staff, the labor issues shouldn't be handled, talked about, put things in place, and you are saying that we should sit down on concern? No. The repercussions, if the concessionaire takes over and tariff goes high, what then happens? Won't it affect would it increase? Are companies going to close down? These are the issues that we are looking at. The local content that we are talking about. Repatriation of profit is also another issue. And these are issues that broadly we are looking at. It is not because we are staff and we are protecting our jobs. No, please. Far from that, but there are other key issues that we need to address. Okay. Please, I would wish you find out from NIDA, how many times have they even engaged the leadership of the union as far as this concession issue is concerned?
But we learned that you had a meeting with them, what? Was it Wednesday or just a few days ago? You met NIDA on this matter, didn't you?
We met NIDA. You know, what happened was that last week, when they heard that we were going to embark on the 3-day, 3-hour demonstration, at the speed of light, they wrote to management that they have no intention of publishing the RSP last week, and that they want to meet us on Tuesday, that was last Tuesday, for us to discuss the labor issues. We met at the ministry and nothing came out of that meeting. Then just after we finished with the meeting, NIDA came out with a press release carried in the dailies. That was the last Wednesday, Then that same evening, they released the RFP to the prospective bidders. So the questions we are asking is that, fine, if leaders want to meet us in dialogue, why we don't have to go ahead and then publish the RFP while there are issues that we have not resolved? This is why we are saying that this action on the part of NIDA is being as a gross disrespect, lack of transparency, and they cannot be trusted. These are the issues that we are raising, and somebody must hear us out. We shouldn't be looking at only one side of the coin. There are many issues that we must delve into it and find solutions to it. Other than that, we cannot all enjoy the peace we want to enjoy here in our country, Ghana.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Patrick Winyami, for your time. The National Secretary for the Senior Staff Association of the Electricity Company of Ghana. It's clear from their meeting today that no outcome was agreed on today. The meeting ended inconclusively. That will mean that next week, Monday, we will see what we've seen today in all the offices across the country. In fact, many have had trouble reaching them for their services. Well, he says for tomorrow and Sunday, you have that opportunity. But will that be enough, considering the business people have on weekdays to attend to? We'll see how this will snowball when we come back on Monday to see what the results will be and what the Power Ministry will also be doing. One thing also that I need to point out is this. In all of this back and forth between the workers of ECG and MIDA and the Power Ministry, it looks as though the only missing link here, or the only body here that has been awkwardly silent, is the management of the Electricity Company of Ghana. We have tried many times to reach them for their response on this matter. We've been unsuccessful, but it will be interesting to also find out. We are accessing services from them. We have been unsuccessful in getting these services. The workers are going on a strike. We're suffering as a result, and there's been no word from the management of the ECG. We'll see whether they'll be able to tell us anything about this and what can be done to avert the impact of this action by the workers of the Power Distribution Company. Now, this afternoon, fuel prices have been increased. You didn't know? Well, it has. Between 3 to 6% across most of the oil marketing companies, while diesel has been increased from between 4 and 8% across most pumps. Puma Oil is 7, the lowest after the increments for both petrol and diesel. Well, here are the details as we have it today for you on the increase. So for Puma, they're selling their petrol at 3.62 per litre, 3.590 per litre for diesel. For Owando, it's 3.630 and 3.620 for petrol and diesel respectively. Engine is 3.65 and 3.6 for petrol and diesel respectively. Gore has 3.63 and 3.62 respectively. So the increases in there for each of these companies ranges between 4.3, 3.12, 5.49, 4.0, 4.28, 4.8. At least that's for what we have here on your screens for Puma, Owando, Engine, Gore, Pacific, and Rich Oil. Well, there are more that we can bring you here. So look at the prices, so you decide where to go to, because these increases have taken effect from today. In fact, we know that if you go to the pumps this afternoon to go buy fuel, you will realize these increases. Cash oil is 3.6, diesel is also 3.64, an increase of 5.172%. Glory oil has increased by 4.352%. Shell has gone up by 5.186%. Quantum is 4.545%. Total is 5.747%, and Maxon is 3.081%. Let's get some more details on what has informed this level of increases we're seeing today. Thomas Doje is the head of research and pricing at the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers Ghana. Thank you, Mr. Doje, for joining us today.
Thank you, and good afternoon to your listeners.
Okay, so fuel prices increased by between 5 to 8%. What is accounting for this increase?
Yeah, basically what is accounting for this increase, as you rightly said, is the increase in the world market prices of crude oil and refined products. And then also you have the foreign exchange rate also marginally, depreciating against the US dollar.
Now, for these increases you speak of, some will look at it and say the range, the percentage increase is one that is worrisome, considering that we're not given any heads up? Is this the annual fuel adjustment formula that you are adhering to for the OMCs?
Sorry, I didn't get your question.
I'm asking whether these increases fall in line with the deregulation we have been told about time and time again.
Yes. It's all in line with deregulation. We all know that with deregulation, it means that government controls have completely been eliminated as far as the pricing is concerned. All the players in the downstream sector are supposed to, recover their costs fully. And for that matter, when prices are increasing in the world market, then you see prices will also increase at the pumps. So long as prices continue to reduce, then it means that they will also have to reduce it in line with deregulation. So it means with the deregulation, what we will be seeing henceforth will be the fact that so long as prices increase, then price will also increase at the pumps. That's world market prices. And the foreign exchange, this fuel, we import them in dollars, and we need to convert our cedis into dollars to be able to pay for the fuel. So long as the foreign exchange or our dollar, the cedi against the dollar depreciates, then you expect prices to also go up at the pump.
So increase in price of crude on the world market plus inflation of the currency are the main reasons why we are seeing this increase.
Yes,
but some will say that every time we hear of these increases, the contrasting story is that when the price begins to go down, we do not see the sharp corresponding decrease in the price of the fuel. Why is that?
Yeah, what usually happens is, there is this old economic adage that prices are always flexible upwards, but very rigid downwards. But that is why the chamber continues to, come out every now and then to make sure we pursue the interests of consumers by asking the OMCs to reduce prices accordingly. If you recall, the last pricing window, which ended on 31st August, we came out strongly, and the fuel stations or the OMCs, responded accordingly by reducing their prices, but not to our expectations. So therefore, so long as the chamber continues to exist, we will continue to ensure that the right thing is done, where the consumer receives fairness at all points in time.
In that regard, I need to ask then, for the margin of increase we've seen, is that a fair increase or more has been added to it from your view?
As a matter of fact, it is some of them are not fair at all, because we were expecting that the increment would be between 4 and 7%. In fact, with the petrol, we were expecting between 4 and 6. But some even performed a bit better. Some reduced it by 3, and then we have between 3 and 6%. But with the diesel, some have even increased it by 8%. And we think that is not what the way to go. In fact, we continue to appeal to these OMCs that, look, anytime there is a range within which they must take within that range. Instead of them moving beyond the range, and then it sounds as though, or it looks as though they will want to rather shortchange the Ghanaian, the consumer, because of maybe some level of ignorance as far as the consuming public may be concerned. That is why the chamber is always going to be on their neck to ensure that really, they adhere to the dictates of the deregulation. By increase, and remain within the threshold or remain within the range. But you can see that clearly some of them have moved outside the range. But we will continue to insist that the right thing be done. In fact, even though some have increased by 8%, we will continue to insist. We will continue to appeal so that if it calls for reduction, some will go a long way to reduce the price.
All right. Thank you. Thank you for your time, Mr. Deji. He is the head of research at the Chamber of Petroleum Consumers, telling us what has informed this latest increase we're seeing at our pumps across the country. So between 3 to 8% is what we're seeing for petrol and diesel at our pumps. But as we showed you per the information we've seen, it looks as though Puma Oil is providing the least amount of increase for this latest fuel price adjustment. We'll go for a break at this point, but still ahead here on the show, scores of Muslims may not make it to Mecca this year with about a few hours to the takeoff of the last flight. We'll tell you why after the break. Stay with us. You're welcome back to the Pulse on the Joy News channel on Multi TV. Now, scores of Muslims may not make it to Mecca this year with a lot of trouble coming up with landing in the past 24 hours from the Hajj village. Yesterday, my colleague Enes Kojomenu spent some time to understand what has been happening at the Hajj village, especially for those who are keen to join the last flight to Mecca.
That the last flight will move on Saturday. However, there are hundreds of them still here who are stranded. Some of who tell me their hopes of getting to Mecca is fast fading. What is in their way of being airlifted to Mecca? Some have been here for as long as 10 days. Others are coming all the way from Tamale, from Kumasi, and they've been spending the days here. This has also interestingly taken a political twist, where some are accusing the Hajj board of facilitating the movement of some party people, some party supporters as well. Others are also calling for the dissolution of the Hajj board and asking government to take full control as far as the facilitation of the movement of Hajj pilgrims are concerned. Some are also demanding that their monies be refunded to them. They do no longer have interest in making the pilgrimage.
And coming to spend about 5 days. What information are you getting from the board? Okay, the board, according to the board, they are saying that by the end of last week, we will get to the last week. They still, because we are hearing that now last week, they have to know they are going to my agent is saying that it's from the board. So I went to the board and I was I'm here for the past 11 days now from Jonathan of Harrison from South constituency. And as at this now, as you see, people are just lying stranded. They don't know what is happening. Frankly speaking, I'm highly disappointed in the Hajj board because the chairman per se, it is his responsibility to come at least come us down and tell us what is happening in the office. Sometimes they tell us the taste hasn't come, the business hasn't come, but we'll be shocked to hear that they are going for checking. We don't know where those businesses are coming from. Do you still have hopes of making it? For now, most of some of us here are here to take the money for the passport. I think that because there is a delay in the passport, we are even taking our monies and go because we don't actually know what is happening in their offices. So for that, we are highly disappointed in them.
We are anticipating the last flight probably by tomorrow, and because we have already concluded with the Schedule 11 flights that was meant to airlift the quota that we have for this year, 5,424. So far, over 5,000 Ghanaian world pilgrims are currently in Saudi Arabia. So we believe that this is a great achievement, and we are still working very, very hard to consolidate this achievement. Last minutes are always chaotic. Last minutes are always a moment where you have those that will not be fortunate to travel, an agent who actually collect money from people and couldn't really make it possible, not because of the afford, maybe because of some problems regards to documentation and what have you, would come out and show that pain and show that.
Are you saying that the delay in payment of the monies as far as their travels are concerned is the reason why we have this situation?
No, but it is one of the key. It's one of the key elements of some of these challenges, because if you don't pay on time, you render the Hajj board powerless. Because the deadline was on the 15th of July, but because we cross-check our account and we realized that people have not paid, so we were pushed to the wall to sort of extend the date to 23rd, and the extension has really caused some of these challenges.
So that's Enes Kojomenu's report as he filed it yesterday. Well, we're learning that a lot has changed between then and now. Maxwell Agora has just returned from the Hajj village here in Accra. Hello, Maxwell. Hello, good afternoon to you. So we've seen the pictures painted yesterday at the Hajj village. Many still stranded, looking to catch the last flight today. How are things looking today when you went there?
Well, Francis, nothing has really changed for a lot of the would-be pilgrims. Hope is fast waning for a lot of them. ASAP that though they've received numerous assurances from the Hajj board, it looks like nothing has been done to change the situation. I had interactions with one gentleman who tells me that they've been there for days, and sometime last week Tuesday they had assurances that the last flight will be coming. That's the 12th flight to be coming to take them to Jeddah in Saudi Arabia. But the case as it stands right now, nothing is happening. Though they've received assurances that on Sunday, a flight will be touching down at the Kotoka International Airport so that they can leave the Kotoka International Airport on Monday at exactly 3 a.m. But he's still skeptical. He thinks that nothing will change as far as this year's Hajj pilgrimage is concerned for some of them.
Okay, now we heard from the Hajj board yesterday mentioned that most of the problems we're seeing now at the village are for those who have not made payments for this trip. Is that the same situation today?
Well, for the gentleman that I had interactions with, he tells me that, for Tamale, 3 flights left the Tamale airport, and then a 4th flight was made to leave as the numbers grew. So 4 flights left Tamale, and then 7 were supposed to leave, the Kotoka International Airport, making 11. Yeah. But now we need to get an extra flight, making it 12 flights, to be able to move the people from the Kotoka International Airport to Saudi Arabia. He tells me that he was in Tamale and he was not, he couldn't make the 3 flights in Tamale. The 4th flight also came and he couldn't make it. So they were transported from Tamale to the Kotoka International Airport to join those who are there right now, so that they'll be airlifted to Jeddah. But as it stands right now, it doesn't look any good for him.
How many more like him are at the Kotoka International Airport right now?
Well, even for those at the Hajj village at airport, I can make a guesstimation of about 500 people. It could be more. 500? Yeah, about 500 people still stranded at the Hajj village in airport.
Now, there's a subplot to this. In trying to get the story for us, what happened?
Well, it was very, very difficult, especially, bringing out our cameras to take shots of the place. We had to speak to some people there. I hear they are the tax force guys who are maintaining order and security of the place. We spoke to them and they agreed that we should take visuals of the place and have interactions with people. So we did the first part of it. Just when we're about to start a discussion with some members, because we went very close to the dome where some of them are sleeping, and some marquee tents that they've erected there. We went inside to have interaction with people. The next moment I saw somebody tapping on my shoulder and he asked me what we're doing, and I told him we asked for permission from you and you granted us the permission. So exactly what we're going to do. It was like, no, you can't continue to do this interview. You have to leave this place at this moment, and all of that. So what happened was that we were sent out by some of the task force members there. But here's the irony of the whole situation. The people there actually wanted to bring out their grievances. They tell us that, look, we are going through a lot here. The squalor conditions, the appalling conditions. One woman actually told us that the washrooms are nothing to write home about. Apart from that also, the cooling systems that they have in the marquee tents and then the dome erected there are also not the best. I mean, I entered and I could feel the heat. And she tells me that there's a lot going on there and they want to vent their spleen. They want the world to know exactly what is happening. But these tax force guys were like, no, you can continue with this interview. So we had to rush back into our car and then we drove off.
And came back. So when is the flight taking off today?
Okay, from what we are hearing from members of the Hajj board, they say that on Monday at 3 o'clock a.m. The information that I picked on the grounds was that Monday at 3 o'clock a.m. there will be the last flight that will jet people from the Kotoka International Airport to Jeddah. But as it stands right now, the prospective programs are very, very skeptical about that because they say that they've had numerous assurances from the Hajj authorities, but it looks like the situation is not changing.
Okay, thank you, Maxwell. And we were about to speak to Mr. Amin Lamte. He speaks for the Hajj board to get some responses on these issues to understand what is accounting for these challenges we're seeing, especially for these pilgrims who are stranded. We're yet to reach him on the phone lines where we had agreed to speak to him. We're yet to reach him. If we do, we will bring you that interview and get to understand what is accounting for this and what is being done for these hundreds who are still at Kotoka waiting for that last flight to Jeddah, Saudi Arabia for the annual Hajj pilgrimage. We still have more for you here on the show, and we continue with our citizens journalism report under the Journeys in Star Ghana project, Poverty and Politics. A citizen journalist, Samira Salifu from the Bosa South constituency, is reporting on how the two leading parliamentary candidates for the area are using extra classes, yes, you heard right, extra classes as a political tool to galvanize support and also improve the performance of BEC and WASI candidates in the constituency. And in their view, that should be translating into votes. Here's Salifu's report.
Femilisi can be found in the Busa South constituency of Ghana. Results from the BECE and WASI of students in the constituency have not been the best. In a bid to improve the results of students in the constituency, parliamentary candidates for the Busa South constituency are using extra classes as a political tool to galvanize support and also improve the performance of students in the constituency. The parliamentary candidates for the National Democratic Congress organizes extra classes for junior high school students. His opponent from the PAC also organizes extra classes for students at the Femilisi Senior High School and other areas. Mr. Oscar Anitorain is one of the facilitators for the extra classes program initiated by the incumbent Member of Parliament, Alasan Azon.
Gone are the days where people used not to like education, forgetting that education is the backbone of everything that we do in this world. So this man once upon a time thought of becoming a missionary. A missionary in what? Educating people. So God's willing, he contested to become an MP in 2008 and he was true. Maybe that was one of his prayers. So he was true. 2012 he was true. So 2010 he started organizing extra classes for his people and up to date. So this year he said no, although there are great changes in these extra classes, but they need to go an extra mile or two. Henceforth, he brought in a consultant from Gate in Accra to come down and take the people through techniques of effective reading, effective reading and how to pass well in what? Exams.
Asola Charles is the coordinator for the Dr. Apam vacation classes for Busa South.
As a result of the massive failure that is being witnessed in this particular district and constituency over the years from the basic education level, Dr. Park on his part and as an academician himself believed that when you want to build a house, you start with the foundation, and then starting at the basic level is the good way to go or the right way to go. The objective is that in 5 years from now, we'll have 90% of the students who seek for this basic education get their school of choice to go. For instance, most people always want to go to a particular school of their choice, but because of the massive failure, they are not able to achieve this dream.
Florence Wahab, a beneficiary of the Dr. Clement Apam vacation classes, is excited about the initiative.
We thank them very much for this organization, and we are very happy. We learned about so many things. Topics that we are able to cover them, the process, all of them, and the other topics, many topics that we have so we are very grateful.
David Awuni is a beneficiary of the incumbent MP Alasan Azon's extra classes program.
It's really helping us. We have to improve upon our studies. So most of our colleagues are on holidays, but it's just like we have not even been on the pieces. We are still here learning. It's that we have not done problems. We still do want to learn. Instead of being the farm, we are here learning to help us towards our incoming examination.
Citizen Journalist Report by Salfi Samira. We support from Star Ghana.
I've given two. Somebody to tell me the rest.
Pretty interesting report there, considering the kind of things that can influence votes in an election year. Who could have guessed? Extra classes. Anyway, from up north, let's travel to the central region and specifically to the capital, Cape Coast, where authorities have denied suggestions that the plush new Kotokraba market, as you can see in the background, which construction was scheduled to be completed by the close of next month, will not be given out to the market women. There are fears by residents in the city, especially the market women, that the facility, which is expected to comprise shops, banks, a hospital, offices, and a school, will be handed over to new owners. Well, let's get more on this story from our regional correspondent, Richard Kujina, who's joining us online with more on this. Richard, what's the fear of the market women? Why are they so worried that this beautiful edifice will not come for their use?
Well, it is not all the market women, but a section of them that are entertaining is that this new edifice that we see on our screen would not be handed over to them after the commissioning by the president sometime this month, the end of this month. And so that is their fear. They also contend that because of the nature of this edifice, looking at the hospital, the schools, the banking halls, and the other items or the other things structures within this market, the entertaining fears that those who sell the fresh fish, the dry fish, and other stuff that we might think about that they need to sell in the old structure, we would not permit them to sell them in this new structure. So I have been speaking with the Metropolitan Assembly, precisely the Metropolitan Chief Executive, Priscilla Ayenkwanche, and she has assured me that currently the court has ordered them that those who were in the old structure should be given back their places. They shouldn't deny them of any of the places they used to occupy. And so according to her, they are going to stick strictly to the court decision and the court order, and they are not going to deny any of these market women. And so people should disregard the rumors that people are peddling around. According to her, the new hands that are coming into this structure are the hands that are going to man the bank. And she specifically told me that 3 institutions have applied to manage the banking halls, and they are yet to even consider them, plus the kindergarten and the nursery schools that would be that are part of this structure. And so people should disregard the rumors, because in case when they come here, some of the market women are threatening to go on demonstration, and we cannot rule out the political interferences and the political connotations that have become part of this one. Because when the market, the construction of the market began, some people were of the opinion that it cannot be built and all of that, and they feel that it is their political opponents that are behind all of these demonstrations and agitations that are ongoing. And so that is what the metropolitan authorities are saying about this new market.
So, a quick one for me, Richard. When it comes to these market women, some of them you say who are concerned about this, were they transferred to one location where they can be found and easily transferred back to these new markets when it's fully commissioned?
Well, as soon as they demolished the old market, they were all sent to a relocation site, and they built some temporary structures for them. So if you go to the extreme half of where you see this structure, there is also the temporary location that these market women and other traders are scattered. Now they collated all of these things, their names and everything, and according to the Metropolitan Assembly, they have their data, and whoever was occupying which structure and all of that, they have them, and they are going to use the list that they have in bringing them back. They have their telephone numbers, their contacts, their addresses, and all of that. So there is not going to be a case where any of them would complain that they have been denied a place in this new facility.
Okay, Richard. We know that this will be commissioned towards the end of this month. What's left to be done at the market?
Well, I think for now everything has been completed. The painting, everything, the cleaning of the glasses, and everything has been done. Now in the evening, what you see at the Kotokraba, at the center of this place, is that there is this fountain of water, and there is this light, and it is really a beautiful sight to behold. We started operating this one just 3 days ago, and so yesterday evening, a lot of people came to that place to have a glimpse of that beautiful thing and the fountain that was radiating some light. And so that is all that is left. I think what is left, according to the regional minister, is for the president to come to the central region to commission this project.
And then it will begin to be used. Okay, quick one. Once you've mentioned that side attraction, tell me, what are some of the things that people are saying about this new place, considering what you call the water fountain? I can already imagine what some of the comments will be from the elderly women in that community.
Well, the comments, some of them funny though. They are saying that, well, this is not fit for the market that they were looking for. This looks
like a mall. It is not the ordinary structures of markets that we see in other places. And so that was why they were detaining some fears that they might not, because those who sell Kobe, Kaku, the fresh fish and the dry fish, doing petty trading and other things, they feel that they might be denied access to this place, considering the makeup of the structure, the glass doors, the glass windows, and the others. But I think that the Metropolitan Assembly has allayed that.
But even there, Richard, is there any special provision within this market that makes room for them?
Yes, they according to the Metropolitan Assembly again, they have sections, and where a section of the traders will go depending on the kind of wares they sell and the kind of items they sell. And so, if we see the glass houses, maybe these glass houses might not be given to those who sell fish and other things, but they might be given to other traders who will sell different kind of wares. But according to them, they have basically designated a place for these market women who, according to what they sell, and so no one is going to be deprived.
Okay. Thank you, Richard Kozinakun, for that update on this story. Pretty interesting one. Call it good trouble brewing in Cape Coast, where some market women already fear that such a beautiful edifice that we're seeing could go into the hands of other people than them. If you're wondering what Kotokraba of old looked like and what it is now, we have a picture that will depict it for you here right now. Now, as I've mentioned before, the old market you'd find like this. Quite a regular, simple old market which has been there for years. One very interesting feature you will find there is a small runabout with a statue that has a crab sitting virtually on a pot. In the fancy parlance, Kotokraba can go directly to that meaning. A crab on a pot, Kotokraba. So that's the old one. The new one is what we're about to see when the president goes to the central region to commission it. That's the new one, yeah. All right then, so we'll pause now. We'll come back and bring you some more stories. Another very interesting story you should be looking out for here on the show. How does a woman give birth and 3 men begin to fight over that child, each claiming ownership of the baby? We'll tell you more about this plus other related stories, and we'll bring you our big debate for today. That wedding ring, should you really wear it or you shouldn't? Does that save you from fidelity? We'll talk about that here on the show right after the break. Stay with us. Welcome back to The Pulse. Now, a child protection specialist with UNICEF is asking communities in the central region to return to the old ways of raising children, where the entire community was responsible for the upbringing of that child, rather than only parents assuming the onerous role. According to Emilia Allen, a change in the parenting style of the communities will help reduce the incidence of teenage pregnancy and help in producing children with high morals capable of causing changes in such communities. She was speaking at Gomwa Akochi in the central region. Richard Kozinakun has more.
Celebrating communities that have made progress in protecting the rights and the interests of children has been the preoccupation of International Needs Ghana, a child-friendly non-governmental organization. Communities in the central region were ranked based on how child-friendly they were to serve as a basis for other communities to adopt such child-friendly policies to ensure that children are better served. The central region records high teenage pregnancy figures every year, and many girls drop out of school as a result. As a way of reversing the trend, child protection committees have been formed in communities in the central region by International Needs Ghana with the support of UNICEF, together with traditional authorities in the region. Speaking at a debate to honor and award such communities, a child protection specialist with UNICEF, Emilia Allen, proposed a return to the old ways of raising children in the communities.
It does not just take parents. And we all agree that back in our days, we the grown-ups, it took the whole community. Once you were in your mother's stomach, you belong to your father and mother. But once you dropped out of your mother's stomach, it took the whole community. And I know that these communities that are being recognized recognize that it takes all of them to raise the children to become what they should be. Those days, I remember how the chiefs and elders were so committed to development. And those that were particularly concerned of, and those that were particularly related to children, from birth registration, there were some of the communities that kept the best community population registers, which the births and deaths registry today is using to register children in communities. It started from communities like Akoti. They went from birth registration. They built a preschool, they built libraries, they built all kinds of things just to help children. I hope that the same commitment still exists, because if we are gathered here, it's an affirmation that they are still committed to the issues of children. But let me assure you that if the children are not protected, what we build today will be in vain. We need to make our community safe and protected for them.
The Executive Director of International Needs Ghana, Edmund Vanderpoort, assured the communities of their continued support to ensure that the children are protected.
We will not end in our efforts to work together to protect the rights and the interests of children in our various communities. And indeed, for us at International Needs Ghana, we will work with all our partners and with the state institutions that have a mandate to protect children, to ensure that we safeguard and protect the rights of all Ghanaian children, wherever they may be.
Luma Akuti was adjudged the most child-friendly and safe community in the whole of Central Region, having adopted ways of protecting the rights and interests of children. Richard Kwadwo, Joy News, Cape Coast.
Right, so that's the report brought to you by Richard Kwadwo from the Central Region on teenage pregnancy and moves and solutions being preferred to deal with it. But still ahead here on the show, we'll bring you sports. But after sports, we'll elevate that conversation. How does a mother give birth to a baby or a child, and then not one, not two, but three men come out and say, that baby is mine? What does it speak about? And then we'll elevate that conversation also to our big debates for today. Does wearing a ring as a married man help you at all in dealing with that issue of fidelity? We'll have that conversation. Two ladies will join us here as they slag it out. I'll be keen to know what your views are, and so send it to us via social media.